What's going on YouTube? So you've seen a lot of Santa Fe content on this channel, and as a matter of fact, we even own one. But this is different because this is the just released hybrid version, which is promising all the luxury and style, but with up to 36 miles per gallon. So does that mean this is the Santa Fe to buy? Well, let's go ahead and find out. So since this is the hybrid model, what better place to start out with than under the hood for our spec dump? So the hybrid model is going to be combining a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with battery electric components. Total system power on this is 232 horsepower and 271 pound-feet of torque. You're also going to have a different transmission from the other models. So this is a 6-speed automatic transmission, and it's available in front and all-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive is going to get you up to 36 miles per gallon combined.
Now, of course, we can't wait to take this out on a test drive later and show you the performance, as well as get things like our signature sound level reading. Then after that, we're going to be discussing a new element we're adding to our reviews, potential resale value and reliability.
But before we get into that stuff, we need to close up the hood so we can take a look at this aggressively styled Santa Fe's exterior as well as this luxurious interior. Now, before I really get into the exterior design, one thing is important to point out is the fact that the hybrid is available in less trim levels than the gas model. So this is going to be available in just 3: SEL, Limited, and Calligraphy. We have the top end Calligraphy trim level today. And again, we have a lot of content on the Santa Fe, so if you want to learn about the gas model, all the trims that has, as well as our ownership experience, make sure you go to our channel and take a look at those videos as well. But in terms of this hybrid Calligraphy, the look is really going to be the same as the gas-powered model. So we've got a lot of gloss black accents in terms of what's going through our grille as well as our lower fascia. Everything does have a great look to it. This is going to be a squared off design. Obviously with this new Santa Fe, you still have that H motif, which you see very clearly in the grille, as well as our headlight arrangement. So the headlights are a very premium design. These are included across the entire lineup of Santa Fe's. You've got that big bar that goes across the front, as well as our H-shaped daytime running light and turn signal indicator. The headlights themselves are going to be premium projector LEDs, but you're not going to find fog lamps on any model. Now, as we move around to the back of this Santa Fe hybrid, this of course is the most controversial angle of this redesign. But in terms of the hybrid specifically, there really is going to be just one main difference from the traditional gas model.
Yeah, that main difference, this hybrid badge, imagine that.
Yes.
There's a hybrid badge on the hybrid. Over here on the right side, that's the main thing that they've changed. As far as other design elements, we have a wiper under the spoiler here, and all of our badging is going to be blacked out for Calligraphy duty. Now, as far as our taillights are concerned, let's see if all of the elements are LED. We have an LED brake light, the signature 8 shape with it, and an incandescent reverse light down here. Turn signal is going to be LED, so 2 out of 3 elements are LED. Now, down here in the lower diffuser area, one other thing has changed for the hybrid, and that's the fact that we don't have an exposed exhaust outlet. That's deleted for hybrid duty. Also different for the hybrid is your tow rating. So on the gas model, you can have up to 4,500 pounds. This hybrid can only tow 2,000 pounds.
Now, moving on to our wheels, there's actually a change here for hybrid duty that you probably won't even notice. These wheels, although they have the same exact design as the gas-powered Calligraphy trim level, are actually an inch smaller. So on the hybrid, your max size is going to be a 20-inch alloy wheel, and then your lower trims will continue to have 18-inch alloy wheels, but those also will have different designs from the ICE variants. Now, also in the Calligraphy, you've got the gloss black finish going around our squared-off wheel arches. Santa Fe branding right there. And in terms of our mirrors, you're going to have standard heating and standard blind spot monitoring. We also have power folding abilities on this Calligraphy trim level.
Here at the side, you're going to see that very boxy design theme continue. And as far as the overall vehicle length, it's about 190 inches long, which is a couple inches up over what it was previously. And as far as some of the features that you are going to get, there's quite a few to talk about. So first of all, you'll see this piece right here. This is not just for design. This actually pushes in and allows for really easy access to the roof rails, which, by the way, you do get here on this Calligraphy trim level. Now, in terms of your safety systems, there's also a lot to talk about here. Hyundai's including all 4 active safety features as standard equipment on all Santa Fe models. However, as you go up the trim structure, you will add in a few extra goodies, including their smart parking system as well as Highway Drive Assist 2.0. But guys, that's it for the exterior design of this hybrid. Let's see the inside. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, now let's go ahead and check out the interior of this luxurious Calligraphy trim level. First though, we'll take a look at the key fob. This is Hyundai's latest key fob design. You are going to have smart entry, remote start, as well as digital key 2.0, all as standard features. We also have the smart park system since we have the Calligraphy trim level as well. And by the way, Blue Link is going to be free for life. Now as you walk up to the vehicle, it knows your approach. It'll go ahead and fold the mirrors out and just grab behind the handle to fully unlock the door. All right, now take a look inside this interior. It is incredibly luxurious, and you can tell that just from the moment that you look inside. But before we get into all the specific details, let's talk about the seat materials and color choices. So on the hybrid, you'll begin with the H-Tex leatherette. You move to limited with leather, and then Calligraphy gets Napa leather. This is a very fine grade of leather. We also have a beautiful stitching detail with our H pattern running throughout, as well as perforation. The seats though are more than just about the looks, because here at the Calligraphy trim level, we also get the relaxation seat. So at the push of a button here, I can actually fully put out this leg extension, recline the seat back and have this basically lazy boy experience while I'm not driving. That's a very, very cool thing. Just be aware that massage is not going to be available like it is in our overseas markets. And you also have several cool color options that you can choose from as well. Now, memory seats will be located up there on the door trim. And let's go ahead and get inside so we can talk about all the individual details and the luxury. And now that we're fully inside, let's get into the rest of those cabin materials. So over here on the door trim, we have the full leatherette covering. This matches with the seats. We also have a leatherette covering along the top, which is black. And then we have this very realistic faux wood trim, which is going to be on the Calligraphy model. This also is going to change depending on which interior color you choose. Now, as you move to the upper dash, this is also finished completely in leatherette. You also have more of that through there. Again, this big piece of very realistic wood trim. And then down through here, this is all going to be padded, and everything fits together very, very nicely and super solidly. Now, of course, you have push button start as well. I do want to point out, though, before we fully get into that part, you have a fingerprint reader over here on the side. This works with a digital key system, so you can actually biometrically verify and start the vehicle using that and just your phone. Now that it's fired up, let's talk about the individual details. We'll begin with our gauge cluster as we always do. So, as you can see, we've got a full digital gauge cluster. This is part of the dual 12.3-inch display that this model has. You're going to get this advanced gauge cluster with the limited and the Calligraphy trim level, or otherwise you're going to get a 4.2-inch multi-function display instead. Now, also some features that Limited and Calligraphy have are your blind spot camera system, but only the Calligraphy is going to get the head-up display you see up there. Now, as we pull back to the steering wheel, we have a really nice two-tone steering wheel with this Calligraphy model. It has a supple leather and a double stitching detail. In terms of the wheel itself, it is going to be manual tilt and telescoping across the entire lineup. Limited and Calligraphy will be heated as well. All right, let's take a look at interior storage, because this is one of the very most impressive parts about this next generation Santa Fe. So we have a center console here that opens up in two directions, so you can access it from the front and the back. And then inside of here, this is an amazing amount of space. So this goes all the way down there. As you can see, that's past my elbow, and then it even goes up underneath of these cup holders. It's an insane amount of space. It's actually good for the maximum number of donuts. So this is Car Confections. We filled up the consoles with donuts so we can check the volume. This accepts 24 donuts. That is exceptional for this type of vehicle. Now, as we move forward in front of that, you've got more storage right here. On Calligraphy, you have dual wireless phone charging pads, so you can go on both sides of that. We also have this gigantic center pass-through where you can, again, stick a ton of different things. We have a storage shelf over here in front of the passenger, and then if I press that button, we reveal another storage shelf. This one, though, has a trick up its sleeve. If you pick the Hybrid Limited or Calligraphy, you can stick your phone or other objects inside of there, press that button right there, and it's actually going to treat them with UV light, which kills the germs on them. Very cool. Now, as we return back to this area, of course, you're going to notice the absence of a shifter. That's because it's up here on the column. This is Hyundai's newest electronic style shifter. You twist up for drive. We also have paddle shifters on the steering wheel. And then twist down for reverse. Now, when we go into reverse, you're going to see either the traditional backup camera or the 360-degree camera pop up. This 360 camera is on both the Limited and the Calligraphy trim levels, and one of the things I really like is that you press that button and you get the full 3D view just like you get on the high-end Genesis products. It's a really, really excellent backup camera. Of course, you also have front and rear parking sensors as well. Just press the end of the stalk there to go into park. Now, as we move to this area, you'll find a standard dual zone climate control system on all hybrid versions. You also have standard heated seats on all hybrid versions, although just the Limited and Calligraphy will come with the seat ventilation. Now, in terms of the adjustments here, you've got obviously these nice knobs here to adjust the temperature itself. The rest of the controls are going to be touch capacitive, but they are very sensitive, so overall operation is very easy. The hybrid also has a driver only mode so that the climate only is cooling this front seat. And then above that, we also have a row of controls for our audio systems. So if you choose the Limited or the Calligraphy, that's going to get you the upgraded Bose sound system, which comes with 12 speakers. Let's go ahead and give that a sample right now. Yeah, overall sound quality of this system is quite good. Speaking from experience though, even the base sound system you get on the SEL is not bad either. So just pick and choose depending on how much you like audio. All right, one of the things that we have really liked is the new infotainment system that the Santa Fe has. So this is the latest version. It's called CCNC, and it's a big improvement because we have advanced graphics, a lot better performance, and finally, guys, you'll be very happy to know wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are included across the entire lineup, so that's a big improvement. You also do have built-in navigation on your upper end examples. That is what this one is going to look like. Now as we rise above here, you're going to see an auto-dimming mirror with HomeLink remotes. This is also the digital camera rear view mirror, so it cuts out all the back obstructions on your upper trim models. And then as we look at the roof here, two things to mention. This Calligraphy has the full suede finish up here, so it's a really, really nice headliner. We also have the dual sunroof arrangement, so you can press this button here, that's going to open the front sunroof, and I press that button, that will open the shade on the rear sunroof.
And let's check out the rear seat area with this Santa Fe Hybrid. Now in this regard, it's going to be the same as the regular gas Santa Fe, which is certainly a good thing. We have a lot more legroom this year. We're actually up over an inch of legroom, so 42.3 inches of legroom, about 40 inches of headroom. That seriously places us as one of the biggest options you can get. I mean, that is a ton of room. I'm 5'9" for reference. This seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8", and let's see how much space we have. We have a solid like 9 inches of knee room. That is very impressive, guys. Also, my feet can slide up underneath of the seat. Now, when it comes to other features that we need to discuss, as you can see, we have the captain's chair set up. This is going to be on Calligraphy only, and this does mean that you have 6-passenger seating, so do keep that in mind. But one of the really cool things about it is not just that it's a captain's chair, it's actually that it's fully power adjusting. So you see those switches down there? That allows you to fully recline your seat as well as tilt the seat bottom and all of those things. Fully power, which is something you really don't see on vehicles that are less than $100,000. Now, you can still slide the seat forward and back manually with this lever right here, and that just gives you a ton of space overall. Now, let's also talk about other features. This is that button to allow you to access the donuts up front, and then you can also push this, and that tray actually is part of the storage compartment, so you can store things in there. Additionally, we have two USB-C ports integrated into the seat backs. We have buttons to actually adjust the front seat as well. And then in terms of other things, we have vents over here on the B-pillar, and we're also going to have a pretty nice door trim. So as you can see, we have rear window sunshades for limited and calligraphy, wood trim, leatherette all through the center section. Additionally, you have these two bottle holders right here, which is something I want to point out. It does fit a Stanley water bottle easily in the door trim, which is great for families. Also in this area is the heated rear seat button. That's standard on limited and calligraphy versions. You get the 3-stage heated rear seats. Do keep in mind though, ventilated seats are not available on the Santa Fe. Now, probably the biggest news element about this Santa Fe is that now we have a standard third row on all trim levels this year. That was previously unavailable on the last gen Santa Fe. So let's go ahead and get back here. So in order to do this, Hyundai's made it really easy. You just press and hold this button right here, and that's going to slide the seat forward very quickly and also power recline the seat back. Now, as I hop back here into the third row itself, we do have two seats back here. As I mentioned, you either have 6 or 7 passenger seating here in the Santa Fe, and it's not a bad third row at all. Like we said, we own this vehicle, so we spent pretty extensive time here in the third row, and even for someone that's fully adult, it's not horrible, that's for sure. So in terms of the legroom, 29.9 inches, about 37 inches of headroom. The headroom certainly makes it very spacious feeling here in the third row. The legroom's going to be okay with the seat slid all the way back, and my feet can slide up underneath the seat. The one thing I will point out is that the thigh support is not fantastic, but it's good that you have a third row in general. Now, as far as features, we have 2 cup holders. We have vents coming out of here, as well as a USB port. We're not going to have any fancy features like third row seat heating, but we do have our own climate controls, which is quite nice. I'm pretty impressed to see that here on the Santa Fe, so we can adjust our fan speed for our rear climate, as well as have a full household outlet. As far as how it lands on the third row rating scale, I'm going to say this is in-law approved. Now, walking up to the Santa Fe's tailgate, one of the great things about this model is that you do have a standard hands-free power tailgate, all trim levels. So that is quite nice. Now, once we open up this area, let's see how much space we're going to have. Now, Hyundai says we're going to have around 14 cubic feet with the third row in place. If we fold those seats down, which we can do by just grabbing that little strap right there, a power folding third row is not offered on this vehicle. We're going to have about 40 cubic feet behind the second row. And then if we fold the second row down, which we can easily do, power with these buttons right here, we're going to have a maximum of around 79 cubic feet of space. That's a good amount of space for this segment. It's actually one of the best in the segment. So certainly you will benefit from that. And I also really like that you have the fully power second row. You just push the button and it folds right down. Now, it's worth noting, hybrid does not lose any space over the gas model, so I also am very happy to see that. It's Car Confections after all, so let's get the cargo measurements in case you're looking to haul something. As far as overall cargo length, about 81 inches behind Drew's 5'8" seating position. 41 inches behind the second row of seats. And then let's see how wide the opening is, because that's actually why Hyundai said the rear looks the way it does, is because they wanted to have the widest opening tailgate in the segment. And indeed, we do have a 49-inch wide opening for our tailgate area. So very, very impressive. As far as the overall height, 32 inches is what we're looking at, which is also a very impressive figure. Down underneath of here, we do have a tiny bit of storage. I will point out this is a little bit less than what the gas model does have to offer, and you also are going to not have a spare tire for the hybrid version. That is only going to be for the fully gas Santa Fe models. Well guys, here we are behind the wheel of the all-new 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid. In this test drive, we're going to be talking about all the things you see on the screen right now, including getting our sound level reading. But first, we're going to go ahead and start with a hard acceleration.
All right, so that was just above 60 miles an hour going up a hill. And we'll stop here at this red light. So this, of course, as we mentioned, obviously is the Santa Fe Hybrid, and it's got a totally different powertrain versus the gas option. So this, again, to remind you, is a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that works in conjunction with your electric motor and your other electric components. Total power, 232 horsepower, 271 pound-feet of torque. Not bad on the acceleration front. Now, obviously this is going to be slower than that gas model because with this latest generation, Hyundai actually skipped the old previous base engine. So all of them are, if you choose a gas one, is going to have the turbocharged 2.5 liter engine instead. So that is going to have a power advantage, so be aware of that. That being said, taking off from the line, it's not a huge difference because you do have the electric torque. I think you really feel like you're taking off pretty fast. Now power does die off a little bit as you build speed, but I think off the line it feels pretty confident with that electric component.
That was a little bit more of a casual acceleration in the hybrid, just kind of going with the flow of traffic. And one of the things that I think really stands out to me just initially, because this is the first time we've been behind the wheel of the hybrid, is how quiet it is. Certainly this engine has a lot of refinement and quietness to it. So I definitely like that aspect of it. It seems very, very quiet and luxurious, especially here in this Calligraphy trim level.
Now at 55 miles an hour, I do want to point out that the engine actually turned off because the electric motor is pretty powerful, and if you're at a low load, the engine is certainly going to turn off as often as possible, which is what helps you get that good fuel economy rating, which we'll talk more about in just a second. As you could probably hear there, we are shifting through a transmission. That's because, surprisingly, unlike most of the rivals' hybrid systems, the Santa Fe Hybrid uses a 6-speed automatic transmission instead of a continuously variable transmission. That's going to be a nice benefit, I think, to a lot of people who prefer that more traditional feel. You do, have a traditional transmission in that regard. Now, in terms of shift quality and whatnot, it's going to be a little bit on the slower side of things. It is, like I said, a 6-speed automatic instead of an 8-speed automatic or a 10-speed automatic, something like that. So the shifts are a little bit slow, but overall, I think they're very smooth, which is the most important thing.
Now, one of the other things that is really, really cool about this hybrid system is that you do have the option between front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. So unlike a lot of Toyota hybrids, for instance, you're not locked exclusively into all-wheel drive, which does allow you to get better fuel economy. So when it comes to the fuel economy, the front-wheel drive one is rated at 36, 35, 36. So that represents a 12 MPG improvement over the equivalent gas front-wheel drive version. The all-wheel drive, like what we have today, is 34 miles per gallon combined. So that's really, really good still. And that represents an 11 MPG improvement over the traditional gas setup. And I will also point out, like, when the engine cycles on and off, I really can't feel it at all.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
I mean, it just,
you don't feel it. And we just made it up to about 30 miles an hour just then, accelerating exclusively under electric power. Let's try out a different drive mode though. Let's do Sport. Yeah, not bad at all. I have to say, I was wondering if this hybrid system would be overwhelmed by the weight, because it is very similar to what you get in the Tucson hybrid. Just a few more horsepower and a little bit more torque, but overall this obviously is a much bigger vehicle. But behind the wheel, I think this is going to be totally adequate for most people's situations.
Yeah. And we're cruising along here at 55 miles per hour, so I think right around now would be a good time for us to just go ahead and cycle back into just the normal drive mode and get our sound level reading. .5 decibels is our official Car Confections sound level reading, and I do want to point out the engine was actually off for pretty much all of that sound level reading. So that's one of the benefits of choosing a hybrid, is you have that unique perspective. You not even have the engine on while you're cruising down the highway, and we don't have to sit here and guess how that compares to other Santa Fe's as well as the competition, because we can go to carconfections.com/sound level readings, and there we have posted all of our sound level readings for all the cars that we've reviewed. Now that does mean that this is actually going to test quieter than the gas XRT that we tested out earlier this year, and it's going to be, within around 1 decibel of the gas Calligraphy that we tested out earlier this year in Tennessee. So I do want to point out that was in Tennessee, so it wasn't like an official Kentucky sound level reading. But that one was really, really good at 53.8 decibels. It just seems quiet in here, so I think that's the summary.
Right. This boxy shape really has no impact at all on aerodynamics. They've done just a great job making this very aerodynamic, very quiet because of that. And even with the storm building and wind and everything around us, still very quiet.
All right, now let's get into our slam dunk and airball, our favorite and least favorite element. Drew, what's the slam dunk?
We haven't really gotten to the pricing yet, but I'm going to spoil it a little bit. It only costs $500 more on each trim level to get the hybrid. That seems like a great deal because of the extra fuel economy you're getting. I mean, financially speaking, that's going to save you a lot of money. It's going to be very easy for you to recuperate that, basically.
Yeah. And as far as the airball, what we're going to say is just that we wish they would offer the hybrid in all the trim levels and increase the trim availability. The reason we say that is because some people might like the maybe rugged off-road looks of the XRT trim level, and you should be able to get that here with the hybrid, because like Drew said, I think this hybrid powertrain is honestly kind of a no-brainer in my mind, being only $500 more expensive, and you get that a lot of additional fuel economy. So
unless you're a power junkie,
this
to
would be
answer
what
the
I would
question we
choose.
said at the intro, yes, I think we would actually go back in time and choose the hybrid. It just wasn't available when we purchased our Santa Fe, but this is the best bet for most people.
Last things to discuss would be your warranty. You have a 5-year, 60,000 mile basic, 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain. You do also get 3 years of complimentary maintenance. And one of the great things about the hybrid is that it doesn't cost much more than the gas model. It's only about $500 with equivalent trim levels. So we're starting at about 37 grand with the SEL model. The limited's going to be $43,850, and Calligraphy starts at $47,000. Now keep in mind that is with front wheel drive. You can add on all wheel drive. If you pick a tester like today that's fully loaded out with all wheel drive, plus our $1,395 destination, we're sitting at $50,925 as tested. Now, if you're looking to buy a Hyundai Santa Fe or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price on your new vehicle. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and there's also a pinned comment at the top of this video. Now let's talk about potential resale value and reliability to make sure you are making a smart purchase. Now first up, let's talk about resale value. Now, as an economics graduate myself, Drew and I took the time to develop what we think is a good estimate for this Hyundai Santa Fe's potential resale value. We estimate that after 5 years and 60,000 miles, this vehicle will be worth around 55.3% of its original MSRP, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 19.6%. Now that's a little bit above industry average when it comes to resale value, but it is going to be below other main rivals like Toyota, Honda, and those types of brands.
We've also done the same for potential reliability by developing the Combined Reliability Index. That's going to take into account studies from several reputable sources and combine them in a way that is more useful to you guys. In that metric, Hyundai is rated just about average for all vehicle makes.
Now, if you'd like to check out all of our data about reliability and resale values, as well as learn about our methodology, make sure to head to carconfections.com/resale and carconfections.com/reliability. Like we said, buying a car is a very big decision, so you want to make sure you're making a smart purchase, especially if you're cross-shopping between different vehicle brands. And guys, that's it for our review of the all-new 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid. If you found this video helpful in your purchasing decision, which we hope you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get more car reviews like this, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun on this channel that I'm sure you won't want to miss out on. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.